Okay, guys, welcome back to Leosophy. Got 3 questions. I'm going to jump in. Great. Question 1. Isn't it sad that some of these animals lost their wings due to evolution? Not at all. Nature doesn't have sad traits evolve. Okay, that didn't sound right, because there's all sorts of physical maladies and disorders and disabilities and things. It's not what I mean, though. Fleas lost their wings to evolution. Penguins lost their flight to evolution. They're not sad about it because they're not people. People, we've dreamt of flying. We dream of having wings, and have for a long time because of the freedom that it represents. But for them, it's quite the opposite. Wings on a flea would be a hindrance. That's why they evolved not to, because they live on animals that are riddled with hair, and penguins live in aquatic environments where it was more advantageous not to be able to fly. So it's not an emotional behavior that they have to this. It's about survival. It just so happens that our desires they coincidentally fall in line with the idea of having wings. It's a very romantic notion to a human being, but it's not a logical thing, and it's not something that's shared by other animals. Most animals that fly, they fly because they needed to. Same thing with, I've mentioned that in roaches, a lot of the males have wings that are fully functional and the females don't. Well, it's because they don't need them. The males use the wings to find females. It's not like they're going out like, the never-ending story on Falcor, just woo, they're not enjoying it. It's not something that they develop an emotional response to. It's just something that they need. It's kind of like, we don't live in the treetops anymore with long simian arms and covered in body hair. Very few human beings are like, oh, I wish we could still swing from the treetops and look simian. And they don't desire that. They think that would be an ugly, unpleasant kind of existence. So that answers that one. I think it's really, like I said, it's not a question of good or bad, and nature doesn't work in absolutes of good or bad. Oh, hang on. Does time work differently for animals that don't live as long? Wow, that's another one of those emotional biology questions. Because it comes from empathy or sympathy for short-lived creatures, right? I don't know. That's always how I've kind of interpreted it. I imagine that time feels different, that it's relative, and as a result, it feels different for creatures with shorter lifespans, but I don't really have any means of gauging it, and I don't think anyone does, because no one at least remembers that experience. So, unfortunately, there's no hard answer to that, but if you look at the overall life cycle of these animals, they're not missing out on something any more than we're missing out on not being human. So yeah, I hope that answers that question. Another emotional one. All right, hang on just a sec. I'm going to drop the next one, and also there's some background noise. Just a sec. Why do humans make music? Oh wow. This is also kind of hard. Well, one, we've made music since prehistory. We've made music actually really before we were human. Other hominids have made music before. We found flutes made from bones and drums made from skins from proto-human ancestors. So it's not even a purely Homo sapiens adaptation. Well, when people sing, I do know this. Infants are comforted by the sound of a heartbeat within the womb, and that's the basic percussive beat in music. Boom, 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 and then it's evolved into a variety of other beats, of other means of maintaining the speed and the rhythm of a song. So that's something that I think that inherently humans long for. We long for the sound of heartbeat. Additionally, when people sing, it helps them remember things. And humans, before we started writing things down, which is what made the transition from prehistory to history, we remembered a lot of things. Children were taught the poisonous plants and the good plants, the things that they were supposed to do. And one of the means that they learned that was through singing. It's why jingles are the most expensive form of marketing. It's why children today often learn their ABCs via a song, things like that. Singing really helps with memorization. So that could have been used as a means to preserve information, and it almost certainly was used for that. Additionally, when people sing in a group, or when people even hear music in a group, like let's say you're at a live event, why do people love those live events? Well, we start producing neurotransmitters associated with love and happiness. It's huge for us. We start making serotonin and oxytocin in enormous droves. It's why people get this amazing high from concerts, and also why performers get such an amazing rush from concerts. And so if you look at that in a tribal setting, what better way to reinforce social bonds and societal bonds and make people function together as a group than by singing? And this is also why you see people in the military, they have marching songs and marching beats. And even in wartime, people actually use drummers to actually sort of telegraph military positions. So that's how versatile songs are for us. They do a whole number of things, but they really help with cohesion, they really help with social unity, and they really help with memorization. So that's sort of, I think, the origin of music for human beings, from our pre-human beginnings all the way until, now when you see people at Madison Square Garden just screaming their lungs out because they're so excited and happy. It's the same chemical effect. So, yeah, hope that answers everybody's questions. Wow, we made it under 7 minutes. Like, share, subscribe, keep asking questions. Bye. Oh, did it not?